here's a brief recap video of the draft results from this past Saturday. I'll analyze just the first 5 of the 14 rounds, then move on to showing who I feel had the best drafts in our league. In round 1, it was Mike who provided the first real splash pick of the draft at the number 8 pick overall, taking a risk on Ezekiel Elliott. Based on what we knew at the time of the draft, it was a good risk. But keep in mind that as of today, there was an arbitrator who upheld the entire 6-game suspension. Elliott is still scheduled to play week 1 due to the timing of the decision, and Mike was able to grab Elliott's backup Darren McFadden in round 7. At the number 12 pick overall, I picked AJ Green, which is a bit of a steal due to how he's usually a mid-first round pick in PPR leagues. Excellent value. Of course, I had the 13th pick overall, and I selected Michael Thomas. This gives me the best 1-2 wide receiver punch in the league. In round 3, upon further notice, I noticed some trends here. James and Sarah reached for running backs that they could have picked up in round 4 based on ADP. What this means is that wide receivers Des Bryant and Larry Fitzgerald became steals by Rachel June and Chris and Bonnie, respectively. But perhaps the real story of round 3 revolves around Chuck and his team, Town Business.
Yeah, Town Business gonna be in the building.
Before Chuck was able to draft Marshawn Lynch as another Raider on his crew, Uncle Duane and Auntie Carmen drafted him at the 29th pick overall. And here's what Marshawn had to say about this.
Hell yeah. Yeah. See, these are real emotions, man. Yeah, that is.
For Chuck, he will be attempting to obtain Lynch via trade several times this season. Now, notice in rounds 1, 2, and 3, the league owners did a tremendous job of being patient and not selecting any quarterbacks. But this would all change in round 4, as Aaron Rodgers fell to me at the 37th pick overall. A true steal. Note that the last time I owned Rodgers as quarterback, I won a championship. This pick caused a run of quarterbacks. Arguably, Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson were taken around too early, but perhaps Uncle Duane and Auntie Carmen and Omar and Isaac wanted to ensure that they picked the quarterbacks they wanted. Round 5 yields an interesting story. Reigning champ James Ennis, for the 3rd round in a row, reached for a player. For my calculations, in rounds 3, 4, and 5, he picked players with a combined 54 positions below ADP. But James had this to say in response to this. ADP is based off a large sample size, so it represents the average fantasy player. In my opinion, I'm far above average. And who am I to argue with the champ? Now to the list of the top 5 drafters according to my weighted parameters. Mike, John, Rachel June, Uncle Duane and Auntie Carmen, and Chris and Bonnie. All of you drafted very well. As for Mike, he wins the first award of the season, the 2017 Best Drafter Award. With stellar picks and sound allegiance to ADP and that big risk at the beginning, Mike produced what I feel could be a championship baseline. And even though there's the suspension for Ezekiel Elliott, well, running back is a bit of a liability for him at this point, so don't be surprised if he comes up with another slew of trade offers this season. So this ends the draft recap. Week 1 is now upon us. Enjoy the season, and God bless.
You're flipping through the checks now.